welcome to my channel RhiReviews. I'm Rhiannon, and sorry about the lighting because I'm filming this in the dark and I should have filmed it earlier. But it's Sunday, which means I have a review. But I don't have one review, I have two reviews. Today I am reviewing The Witch Trade by Michael Molloy and the sequel, The Time Witches, again by Michael Molloy. Look at these covers, they're lovely, aren't they? Anyway, let's talk about the first book. I finished the first book during Booktubeathon. During Booktubeathon, and I absolutely loved this book. It's middle grade fantasy. It's about witches. It follows Abby and Spike, who are drawn into this world that they didn't know existed, and they have a great fun adventure. It's got dark witches, light witches, a bit of piracy mixed in. Great characters like Sir Chadwick, who is one of my personal faves, Wolfbane, who is the main villain, and then you've got Abby and Spike, who are the protagonists in this book. Like I said, it's a middle grade book. It's for everyone. I think it's for all ages. I think it's all for all ages. I think books, whether they're middle grade, YA, adult, adult historical fiction, I think books are just made for all ages, whether you're 5 to 25 to 75, it doesn't matter. So it's a middle grade book. I really love most of the characters. I did find this book a little bit confusing at times. Some of the plot jumped a bit and I had no idea how they got from that bit to that bit. But all in all, it was a really great read. I really recommend it to middle graders as well. I would really recommend that parents would read this book to your children as well. It's a really great little read. I just love the cover. The cover's so nice. This is my boyfriend's copy, so yeah, the cover's so nice. The plot did jump around a bit, like I mentioned. I love the magical system in this. For a middle grade book, the magical system was amazing in this. I don't want to spoil anything, but the magical system was really great in this book. I like the concept of dark witches and light witches, and that and the light witch concept and everything else, and yeah, I just really loved it. My favourite character in this is Bembo, the giant albatross that follows Sir Chadwick around. He is absolutely amazing, and I like the fact that Abby can make herself invisible as well. I gave this 4 stars on Goodreads, and because I really did like it, and again, I gave it 4 stars because, like I said, the plot jumped around a bit. It was a very fun read. Loved Bembo. I loved all the characters, and yes. And then we're moving on to, I don't know where I put it, but we'll move on to the second book. So I just need to find my notes. So we'll move on to the second book. The Time Witches. We'll move on to The Time Witches, again by Michael Molloy, as a sequel to the Witch Trade. I absolutely loved the second book more than I did the first book. I loved the plot. The plot didn't jump around as much. It was intriguing. I also read this book for Booktubeathon, and this was the book I read in one day for Booktubeathon, and I devoured it. I absolutely devoured this book. It had more info in this book than on the first book about magical system, about the witches. They introduce new characters and things like that. So there's a guy who pops up and he's like a talking donkey, and he just basically gives them advice, and I think that's really, really funny that this talking donkey pops up just to at random points in their adventure as well. I enjoyed the plot. I love the plot. The plot is time travel. If you like time travel, then you'll love this book. They time travel to try and save their friend who's got kidnapped, and it didn't jump too much. It introduced new characters, which I absolutely love. The new characters, especially the guy the donkey, who I forgot who he was called, and spoiler, Wolfbane comes back. So if you haven't read The Time Witches, then you get all the characters from the first book, including the villain, coming back with his mother this time round. So yeah, it reminds me a bit like Harry Potter, but like a dumbed down middle grade Harry Potter. I'm doing my review. Reminded me of Harry Potter. I love Hilda and Sir Chadwick in this from the previous book. Hilda and Sir Chadwick are really great together. I gave this 4 out of 4. I enjoyed it. and yeah, I just love the plot, and the plot twists in this book are amazing. So I would really recommend this book, again for middle grade and also for all ages. So if you really like this one, then if you really like fantasy and witches and things like that, I would really recommend you start off with these two. It's a great little adventure series. I'm not sure if he's done another book, but yes. So that was my review on The Witch Trade and The Time Witches. Let me know if you've read these books, or if you've got any middle grade recommendations. Please do let me know, because I really like middle grade. I think middle grade can be better written than some adult books, in my opinion. But yes, so that was my review, and I'll see you Wednesday, because I'm going to review. I'm catching up with my reviews, actually. I'm going to review The Fault in Our Stars, which is going to be interesting. So yes, so I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.